detective thrill me.
Thanks for joining us. Rounding out the Christmas, the festive season, Jared, with the fifth film in the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, from 1991. Now, I have seen absolutely nothing. Obviously, we've been knocking these out quickly. Have you seen anything at all?
I finished Icebreaker.
Now, you never quite told me what Icebreaker was. Is it kind of like Die Hard?
Yeah, I think Die Hard on a mountain if Bruce Campbell was Hans Gruber, but he was bald, like Lex Luthor looking sort of style. If Sean Astin was Bruce Willis.
Okay.
And if there was very little action actually going on.
Is there much action? No.
No, there's not a lot of action. There's a bit of snowboarding and things like that. Yeah, Stacey Keach pops up as Sean Astin's girlfriend's father. Yeah, it's a very strange little bit of work.
Is this
there's a comedy relief guy, and when I say comedy relief, I'm talking like he engages in slapstick humour and yeah, it's a funny little film.
Not worth checking out?
If you got riff tracks, it was worth a bit of a chuckle. They've actually, I mentioned they did a number of films from the director in the studio. They did another one called Pressure Point with Jim Belushi.
Shit.
Which looks like another action one, possibly set around the White House. I didn't have a good look at it. But he also produced another one that Riff Tracks have gotten hold of called Radical Jack with Billy Ray Cyrus. So I'll be checking that out too.
Radical Jack.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was an entertaining enough watch, but not because they did anything particularly right. I mean, some of the effects are not too bad considering it looks like a very small budget.
Yeah.
And it seems to be shot on location on like a ski resort. So I don't know how they put it all together, but yeah.
Well, you think you make that happen. You're on a ski resort. But,
yep.
All right, and nothing else.
Nothing else as yet.
All right, quick, to the point.
Short and sharp.
Here's the trailer for Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
Welcome to the shop of Joe Petto. Here, you'll find the most amazing gadgets on Earth. Each toy is unique.
What a terrible accident. Sarah, you think this is an accident? Look.
Each specially designed by the craftsman himself.
But where did all these toys come from?
Sarah, what do you know about that old guy from the toy store? I wonder if I told you he was arrested for maiming some kids several years ago.
What reason could he have to hurt innocent children?
Joe Petto always wanted a real boy.
Where's Derek? He took him.
Who took him? Where? Who?
The man from the toy store.
But he'll have to make what he can get.
All you need is a little of that, and a little of that, and a little of that.
From the producer of Bride of Reanimator.
I want my boy! What have you done with him? I'm your son now, not him!
With special effects by Screaming Mad George Inc. of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Comes the most incredible night yet. Mickey Rooney stars in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
Merry Christmas!
Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker from 1991, directed by Martin Catroza, who wrote Friday the 13th Part 3. I think he also may have been listed as being a writer of Part 5 as well, even though I believe his involvement was more, he had an old script for one of the Fridays. They just kind of pillaged some of it. It's produced by Brian Yuzna, who produced Forced, and Richard N. Gladstein, who produced Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. And it's been written by Martin Catroza and Brian Yuzna. It stars William Thorne as Derek, Jane Higginson as Sarah Quinn, Van Quattro as Tom Quinn, Tracy Frame as Noah Adams, and Mickey Rooney, Joe Petto. That might come in for some treatment. The budget, I don't know what the budget was. And the box office, well, it's direct-to-video. Just to let you know, Mickey Rooney wrote a letter of protest against the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, stating that the scum who made it should be run out of town for having sullied the sacredness of Christmas. but he co-starred in this installment.
Thanks, Mickey. It's all well and good to stand on your morals when work's coming in thick and fast, but when she dries up,
Yeah, when she dries up and someone from the Silent Night Deadly Night franchise comes here, well, you know, I take that job.
yeah, what letter?
Yeah, I don't remember it. Someone else wrote that. All right, Jared, part 5. Talk to me.
This was much more in the realm of what I would expect out of the series after part 4.
Yes.
It veers a little off track, but more in the sense that I'm happy to look at. We're still set around Christmas. I was actually pretty happy with the whole idea of the Pinocchio angle. Joe Petto and his son Pino and all these, you know, we really kind of played our cards close to our chest with the names of characters. But I like the idea of the little small town sort of toy maker. I think it probably hangs too much with the kid, which is really difficult because he's not giving you anything. It's not like
verbal.
It's not like Jamie in Halloween 5 where they're still trying to communicate messages and things like that. It's just kind of going on around him, but we seem to spend a lot of time in that. I think a little less time there and a little more time putting together some of the creative kills with the toys and stuff like that would have made it really cool. And then when we get to the end, I mean, she goes way off. She goes way out there, but again, more in the realm of what I would be happy to kind of watch, and came up with some reasonable bits of work throughout the runtime. So I settled on a 2.
I'll join you on a 2. Definitely steps up above 3 and 4. Well, maybe not that high above 3, but definitely much higher than 4.
Yeah.
I like the Twisted Pinocchio. As you said, the Twisted Pinocchio storyline kind of works, and I feel like we should have spent a bit more time there maybe exploring some of that. You're right, they seem to have the A plot, which is the mother and son, seems disjointed and not very... And in fact, the boring stuff is
it just
going
takes
on
a
with
lot of time.
But the film ramps up at the end, and you're right, when the toys are kind of going Burko, and that stuff's good. That's where the film kind of finds its edge.
Yep.
So I appreciated that. But yeah, the main storyline and the slow pacing and some subpar effects. Surprisingly, from Screaming Mad George, some of the effects don't work very well.
Yeah, there's times when you get the standard good quality stuff, but it seems like when he's using the toys, it doesn't come off quite as well.
No,
sometimes.
Agreed.
But as I said to you, I'd be happy for someone to take another crack at this, almost like a gory fucking horror small soldiers sort of angle.
Yes,
I could see that working out really well.
Yeah, I do too, and actually. The end of it sort of shows some promise that the film doesn't fully deliver on.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks. Out of the gate, the musical score.
Yeah,
quite tidy.
Uses those Christmassy sounding sort of stuff,
but it adds that kind of like
instruments and whatever.
That kind of creepy vibe to everything. And,
yeah, especially the theme at the start. I really enjoyed that over the opening credits.
I thought the opening credits in general were quite.
Yeah. Yep.
The movie looks a lot better and seems to be perhaps had a little bit more money. It's either that or they've used their money better, more wisely. It's more competently made too than the other previous two, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I thought part 4 was reasonably well done on that front. But I just couldn't make fucking head nor tail of what was going on. So
yeah, I think you and everyone else. I don't think there's too many people who can say, listen, I've worked it out.
No. They'd probably lay something out to Brian Yuzna and he'd be like, that's not it at all.
Totally
You missed the point.
I missed it by a mile, mate. All right. I just feel like it looks like it maybe just a little bit crisper direction.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a steadier hand.
A little bit more focused.
Martin Cotrozza is not a filmmaker with a wealth of like directorial credits and stuff. But it seems to me that he kind of knows a little bit of his way around what he was doing. And maybe that's something that, I mean, I sort of said to you in the last episode, I thought Brian Yuzna knew that. They
Yeah.
seem to have fucking abandoned it for part 4. So it's just, I feel like this one's just a little bit better made and a little bit better focused. And maybe it's just that they keep things a lot tighter. You
Mm.
really only see a couple of locations.
Yeah.
The toy
Yeah, it's not a lot.
store, the house. That's
Yeah.
about it. So I feel like they've
A strange car park in the back of a car.
back of a car that's, fucking bigger than
Spacious.
God only knows what. Okay, the twisted Pinocchio idea. Interesting concept.
Yeah, I was very happy with whenever we kind of went back to that and just unraveled a little bit more of the story between Joe and Pino. I was happy with that.
Yeah, I felt like we were on stable ground somewhat.
Yeah,
And I had my interest levels were peaked.
yeah, definitely.
Well, they weren't through the roof or anything. But
they were heading that direction though.
I was getting a light buzz.
Yeah, I think that stuff, it was engaging. I wanted to know what was going on when they started bringing out, oh, here's what, I mean, we knew as soon as they said his name, we kind of had an idea of what was going on. But I wanted to know more about how they were going to incorporate, all right, well, how does the house have something, what's the house got to do with it? We got a little bit of that, but I like that they threw in the backstory that he had the wife who was pregnant and she died in the car accident. So he went a bit crazy. He's done this before. And then, going into spoilers as we like to do, when they bring around the little, the tweaks and turns at the end in the story.
Yes.
Again, loved it. So, yeah, I think that was the strongest part.
There were interesting angles to go with. And even though they're not always successful,
Yeah,
they're at least intriguing.
Yeah.
Or something to grab hold of.
yep,
The A story had nothing to grip onto.
no,
And I'll get to that later because we'll talk about that in the dislikes. But
yeah. I mean, I would have loved a bit more of Mickey Rooney and the son, like
Now,
however
how
you
would
want to
you-
do it,
how would
throwing
you-
more toys out there for more of the kills and
Yeah.
whatnot.
how would you rate Mickey's performance?
Oh,
After
he was-
calling people scum of the earth, making these movies.
Well, as I
You
said
think
to
he
you, I
committed
think
to the role?
I think the scene of him sculling a jack was probably just,
Yeah. That
I
was an
think
outtake.
there was someone in the background saying, Mickey, we've got to get the bottle off the set because we're about to start shooting.
Oh, what about
Action.
that?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
still got the bottle. Shit.
Mickey, hey, Mickey, stop. Give it here. And he's like, no.
But yeah, you see, I mean, Mickey worked for a long time. He worked a long
I
time.
believe he had a 79-year career.
Yeah. So when he's sleepwalking, it's still probably going to be reasonable work.
Yeah, and it was. You know what? There's a little bit of pathos there. There's a little bit of intensity a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's not great performance.
I mean, he didn't have to act old. He looked it.
Jesus Christ.
He was it.
How old was he at the time?
But
He was in his 70s, I think.
yeah. But I think, the
Recently got off the painkillers.
Jesus. He goes between the kind
Yeah.
old man running the toy shop into the bloke smashing bottles over his son's head pretty well. He balances that pretty well.
Yeah. There's a bit of intensity. There's a little bit of pathos. It is not a great performance by anyone's measure, but for a picture like this, it's very, very. It's above serviceable.
Yep.
It's a guy who can act, giving a decentish performance.
Yep.
And he would have been getting nowhere near. He would not have been getting a lot of takes. He would not have been getting a lot of opportunities to refine it.
Not likely.
And his previous comments indicated he wasn't a big fan of people
Maybe
who
he
make these
didn't
movies.
really want to be doing this. I don't know.
But I feel like he gives a reasonable performance.
Yeah, I
Best
think he
performance in the film, for sure.
Yep.
Okay. She starts off reasonably quickly, just like part 4.
Yeah, we're into it.
We get the unknown Christmas gift at the front door. Dad then opens it. He gets attacked by the toy. And then he ends up impaling his own face on the fire poker.
Why does it always sound so ridiculous when we boil these down to a brief sentence?
Yeah. Either way, I loved it.
Yeah. I think it was.
started strong.
Yeah, it looked a little goofy, the toy, but it was pretty strong and it was kind of exciting. And I especially loved the shot of the aftermath where the dad's sitting there with the fire poker on his head, just laying on the ground with the fire poker on his head, and the fucking the slinky kind of arm of the toy is just slowly dragging off him. Like, that stuff was all good.
You like that?
I was happy with that.
Would you, I believe, mumbled the term touch of class.
Did I?
Yes.
I think I might have been talking about something else.
I can only assume.
Okay,
you were looking at something else on your phone or something.
I've taken you to task many a time over silly things you've said on the podcast.
Great,
so I guess I have to cop that. I have to cop some treatment. I went out early. I went with the early crow, and I fucked up. Basically.
So you're telling me there was no touch of class in this picture?
I mean, at that point, I was again a bit of sleight of hand, like the magicians, like Kit Rosser the Great came to town and just kind of bamboozled me for a minute or two, and I happened to say touch of class. I was wrong.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The death of the guy in the car by the toy that resembles a turd. We'll get to later, but it's quite gross.
Yeah.
It goes in his mouth and then pops out of his eyeball, like his eye hole.
Yes.
Pushes his eye out and everything. So I like that.
Which is a case where I wouldn't say it's Screaming Mad George's strongest effects, but it looks fucking cool and creepy.
Yeah.
It still does the trick.
Yes, agreed.
You enjoyed the scene before that, didn't you? Where he was fucking bailing the guy up and requesting, get your ass out of here.
What about Cash?
Cash,
I like Cash.
Cash is good.
I love these guys. They are fucking ranting and raving 1 minute. Then you go, Cash?
Get out of here tonight. Your check didn't clear. How about some cash? I like cash.
You can save for another week.
Yeah. And then he goes back and forth again. He's like, well, you got no cash, or get out of here. And then he mentions, so I'll give you a toy. And he's like, you don't look like a deadbeat.
What the fuck was going on there? Thanks for that. It was good to see the young kid on the exploding rollerblades get run by a car.
Yeah. I mean, I was in anticipation of that for minutes on end.
As he did pirouettes
when he's skating down the street, I'm like, oh, where's it going to go? When's he going to go flying down the street, not be able to stop himself? And then when we finally got it, as I said, it was a bit of a laugh with.
I thought though that he'd go like rocketing down the road or something and burst through off a fucking cliff or something like that.
We do both have a dislike on the end of this, related to that. But I love that idea. That's what I was here for. Like I'd been waiting for another toy to go stupid, and I was waiting with bated breath. I almost uttered touch of class again while I was waiting for it, while they had me strung along.
You almost went, touch of class, then you realised, shit, I better keep that to myself.
What sort of fucking idiot am I, uttering touch of class about anything about the Silent Night, Deadly Night series?
This is the best stuff in the film, I feel. Although this is piss funny as well. The toys, when they come alive and kill that couple who are making out in bed.
Yeah.
Firstly, old mate drops down to the tiny whities instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, mate, that is not honestly, that's not helping.
No.
It's not getting things excited. He then proceeds to have trouble getting her bra off. He seems to be absolutely baffled by the bra strap, which is at the front, mind you, so it should be pretty easy for him.
Yeah.
And then we get this rubber hand, this rubber toy hand that crawls up the bed and starts fondling his face.
I mean, eventually it fondles lots of things, but
when it's on his... He's going like this, going, ooh, making all these weird faces and shit.
I was in hysterics for about a minute there when it was on his butt.
I don't think I need to say it, Jared, but touch of class.
Touch of class, absolutely. Touch of arse in that case. It was the facial expressions when he's there going, oh yeah. He's kind of... Yeah, I was laughing my head off. I couldn't stop.
It fondles everything. It moves from his ass to her tits to
it's all
his leg.
The place.
Everywhere.
But I think it goes a bit bonkers after that. Like when it gets to them being attacked by the toys.
But that
it's pretty cool.
Works out really well. Like the cannon, the cannon starts firing at her, and there's that tank.
Remote control car with the blades that comes out,
and it blasts a big hole in her chest. And everything.
Yeah.
That stuff's awesome because that's kind of like what I was thinking needed to happen.
And then there was another brief chuckle after that when the girl happens to stumble out to where the couple are just arriving home, and you get that little fucking, almost looks like the Turbo Man from Jingle All the Way, goes fucking flying out the window and blows up the bin. That was great.
Yeah. Okay. I really like the section where they head to the toy store to confront Mickey Rooney, who's kidnapped her son.
Yep.
And there's a brief bit where the boyfriend comes into contact with a plane flying, a toy plane flying around and firing like missiles at him.
Yeah.
One of them gets him in the neck, and then he holds up like a large kind of like stuffed toy, and you see bullets going and shit's flying everywhere, and then he knocks it down. That was cool. That was again another way of using the toys.
Yeah.
In an effective manner.
And you can see if there was a bigger budget on this sort of stuff, you could see the creative angles they might have been able to go with that sort of thing.
Yeah, agreed. My last the sequence at the end down in the basement of the toy store with all the fake bodies and dolls and shit that are down there, really creepy. Really creepy. It looked really cool.
Yep.
And then the whole thing where Joe takes off his face and replaces it with Pino's.
Yep.
And you see all the wiring underneath and everything.
Yeah, and we get the reveal that he's
a robot.
Yeah, he's killed Joe and has been doing that sort of part of it. Again, small logistical issue in that
Mickey Rooney's 5'2" and
when they were together, Pino was clearly much taller, but yeah, very, very interesting way to go. And even though we knew exactly where things were headed with Joe and Pino, they almost used that to lull us in and say, well, here's our twist on it.
Yeah, and I thought that take was pretty cool.
It was a cool little twist. A couple of interesting things going on that I could have done without, but I actually liked the performance from, what's his name, Brian Brammer, was it, that was playing Pino, when he starts talking about it, he's...
Yeah, and he's kind of got that... I think the effects are probably pretty good there where he looks like a doll.
He'd put some of that sort of stuff in earlier, like the way that he was constantly walking around with the wide eyes and wasn't saying much and there wasn't a lot of movement. So when he brings it out here
it works
to a higher level, it works really well. And as you said, the effects around the face, making him look like the robot, are some of the better effects in the movie.
Yeah, it looks like a doll.
Yep, works out well.
Anything else? Yeah.
No, other than just, a touch of class on the whole, sort of, the whole production.
Yeah, you keep fucking believing that. All right, the dislikes. The FX are they're a little bit average. It's not at the standard I would have actually expected.
No, and it seems like perhaps, Screaming Mad George does do his better work when he's going with that really crazy...
Yeah. When bums are coming out of fucking people's... faces are coming out of people's bums and stuff like that. That's Screaming Mad George's bag.
Yeah. And in the last one, there was the sequence where, the stuff going on with the bugs in the body and the fingers wrapping around each other and stuff like that. He seems to excel with that sort of stuff.
He likes the weird and crazy.
The surreal imagery.
Yeah, whereas this one's less in that realm.
Yeah.
And so I think the remote control stuff's fine. Like all the remote control cars and all that sort of stuff works well, but the other stuff doesn't work quite as well.
Yeah, when you get some of the things like the rubber snake and the
hand, the hand fondling everybody.
The turd bug.
The turd bug. None of them look good.
They don't look as good when they're going through those motions.
Agreed. Now, the young actor playing Derek. Jesus Christ. He has one expression and it's fucking gauntlet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Every time we see him, he has this look on his face as like his mouth's hanging open.
Yeah.
He looks just like stupid.
It's like when you compare it to I compare it to Halloween 5 again. I don't love Halloween 5, but you see the difference between.
You could have fooled me. You brought it up.
You see the difference between Danielle Harris, who was a really good actor as a kid,
Yeah.
still is a good actor, but and this,
Totally different.
where I don't know whether he was supposed to just have one expression, but there was nothing between the mother and the kid.
The actress can't build any rapport with him because
And
there's
we-
nothing to do.
We had sequences for like minutes at a time where he's just walking around or observing something with the same expression.
The
You're kinda
only thing, he
"Ugh."
only convincingly portrayed stupid.
Well, but he wasn't
no,
stupid.
but that was the thing. The problem was that's all it came off as. It just made him look like he was kind of like not switched on.
It
Just
almost
sort of
felt like
walking
he was supposed to be like Michael Myers or something. No emotions, no. The only time he showed emotions was when he had the headphones on.
around. Yeah.
He was giggling it up.
I know what he's listening to. Just, yeah, probably the fucking Kevin Buddy Wilson or something. That's how I
Yeah,
felt.
I think it was Santa Claus You Cunt would have fit in with the with the time period. Santa
What
Claus
about
You
that song?
Cunt, you forgot my fucking bike.
Song, great song. What was the latest Rodney Rude tape?
Possibly.
Jesus Christ. Okay. The fact that they call him Joe Petto,
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy.
I mean, even if you're, you don't care whether we're onto the scent, which it seems like they didn't.
Be a little
Sure,
bit
you
more
come up with
discreet, for
something
God's
else.
sake.
Yeah, you come up with something else.
And that has the problem of everyone keeps running the T's together
Yeah.
and calling him Joe Petto.
Everyone walks into the shop and goes, Mr. Petto. Say that it's Mr. Petto. Do not walk in here. There's a number of children in this shop.
It's
Do
a
not
toy
walk
store,
in
for fuck's
calling
sake.
out Mr. Petto. Like, that's not doing my business any good. Pronounce it. Phonetics.
It's T. T. Fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's a fucking hard double T.
The guy-
It's Mr. Petto.
The guy's fucking business is in the toilet. Like, because he's.
Yeah.
These people keep wandering in and calling him Mr. Petto.
Or you just imagine him fucking charging into the radio station going, listen to this shit. It's out of Mr. Petto's toy store. Come on down and see Mr. Petto. You fucking, I'm not paying for this. Yeah.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh, for God's sake.
You've ruined my fucking reputation all over town.
Yeah, my business is fucked. My reputation's ruined.
Yeah.
Better change my name.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not enough kills.
No.
You needed to
Not even
ramp
close.
that up. You actually needed to go, like,
Do you
to
feel
me,
like that was budget?
probably, but
Because it's got to be the toys and stuff doing it. But yeah, you needed more.
the simple fact is, this is slog.
Derek
Yeah. What do you want me? What do you want me?
should have knocked him over early.
Yeah, oh fuck, Derek. Derek gets decapitated to see one for me. Like, he's fucking quick. It's over with quick. No, but my problem with that is this is slog,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you needed to lean into it
Yep.
a little bit more.
I think so.
You needed to take out some of that shit that's in the middle
Yeah.
because the movie really struggles pacing wise around that stage. And until you have a kid on exploding rollerblades given over by a car, we haven't seen anyone get nailed
Oh, shit.
for
Yeah.
a while.
Yep.
And that's problematic
Yeah.
because, you know,
We get stuck with that. We get stuck with the story of Derek and his mum and the mysterious outsider that takes ages to make
and
any.
that guy,
Yeah.
you know what? Say what you got to say, you
Yeah.
fucking dickhead.
Spill it.
Stop wandering around dressed as Santa and all this kind of shit
Yeah.
to try and do things on the slide.
And keeping the kid, keep holding on to the kid when
No,
she's trying
no.
to take it.
No, don't go there.
It's just,
You're a mall Santa, you fucking
Yeah.
scumbag.
say it.
You're going to get arrested if you keep this
Exactly.
up.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah. And
It
that
takes
goes on
way
for.
too long. And they
It goes on
kinda-
for far too long. I feel like we should have had that stuff come out earlier
Yes.
and get more into the what's going on with the pedo.
Fucking hell, don't
Sorry,
say it like
Mr.
that.
Petto.
Don't say it like that. What I mean, I agree with you. Come out, get that. In fact, get that from the start. From the get-go, that he rolls into town to see her because obviously her husband has recently died.
2 weeks and he thinks it's a good time to make a move.
I didn't say I was making a move.
Well, he was.
Yeah, correct. I mean, the guy's body had only just been laid to rest, but by the time old mate was sleeping with her. But what I mean is, he comes into town to see her and to, his condolences, but also he's got an inkling about how the guy died. And he knows it's linked to this, and he's trying to tell her this guy's not right.
Yeah.
So, but why hide all this shit? I don't know what they were trying to achieve, because it didn't. If they were looking for tension, they didn't get it.
No.
They just got slow
drag. That's what they got. They got drag.
Sag. Is what they call it. It was fucking sag.
Drag and sag. Everything was sagging and dragging. It was all over the place. Yeah, I think you're right. It goes for quite a long time without adding a whole lot to that story. We just get scenes with that guy, but no sort of addition onto what he knows or who he is.
No, and all that doesn't come out until after he slept with her. And that's like the hour mark.
Yeah.
He then finally comes.
She sees him and runs away. And then we get that's who it is. And we'd kind of mentioned just a little bit before that, this is what it is, surely, But, further to that, don't walk up to the house and say, Derek, I know we don't know each other, but I'm going to be your friend. Here's a present. It's a special toy. And expect things not to be a little strange between everyone.
Well, it's hard, because when Derek gives you that fucking gormless look, I don't know whether he's picked up on what you're giving him. Okay?
Yeah, that's probably on the actor there.
Correct. Best to say, knock on the door and say, Derek, is your mum home, or is your babysitter home, or whatever? Babysitter comes to the door. Look, I'm Derek's father.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I need to speak to his mum.
But it seemed like he didn't know. He was like, he said to her, I am, aren't I? Like, basically confirming it.
Oh, okay, so he didn't know.
I guess. I don't know. But at least he didn't walk up to the door and say, Derek, is your mother here? Because I'd like to have sex with her in the back of a station wagon if she's available.
No, he chose not to tell her. He just put it on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're greedy, but hey. Yeah, fuck. That's one thing I want to bring up. They have sex in the back of the car. I mean, there's a box back there too. That seems extremely roomy. I don't know what sort of car it is. Is it an Econovan?
Must
have been an Econovan.
Must have been something like that. With plenty of room.
Because
plenty of space.
Out, I'm just like, you can't do this back there. Because they're fully stretched out.
It seems like that would be equally as hard as what old mate was doing in part 4.
Yeah, true.
Similar stretching of limbs that I don't think I could achieve.
Yeah, but you know what though? In that one, that was in a sleazy motel that actually had a bed.
Yeah,
right? And as I said to you,
you've got room to
I plop on the bed and say, I'm sure if I can do this, it hurts.
You got room to get a good stance.
I've got no out, Jared.
No,
because
correct.
There's a bed in there.
Correct.
Now, if on the other hand, if someone opens the back of an Econovan and says, what do you think? I can say, I'm not getting it.
So I can't get back out if I get in.
I will be folded up like a fucking pocket knife.
Where do my feet go?
Yeah. You need to come up with a plan of attack for this.
Yeah.
Because I can't just come in here and wing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one there.
Again, the Pinot, same as Joe Petto, Pinot stuff, you may as well just get a fucking big sign and go, this is like Pinocchio.
Yeah, and I feel like that's obviously what they wanted to. You can't think there's any mystery around it.
But get a little bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just a smidgen more subtle.
Yep.
You know?
What would you call it?
I don't know. Nokia. No. His name would have been like Rog, but his fucking nose would have been like every time.
Yeah.
Every time he spoke, his nose was like.
Yeah. I think that's good.
And I'd be like, look, touch of class, Jared.
Touch of class.
That's
what happens when you add that to things. It's just so the magic happens.
Why is that guy playing with the fucking turd toy in his car?
I don't know. I didn't.
And
Yeah,
all he's doing is sitting there going,
giggling at it,
and then
yeah,
picking it
well.
up and taking it back, and then fucking on the seat next to him.
damn thing's broken.
Yeah, how do you turn this thing off? Good on you, dickhead.
Yeah, no. Yeah, wait till I thought it was a Christmas present.
Yeah,
You've opened it.
was it a Christmas present for him?
Possibly.
Yeah,
Maybe I
it
didn't
was.
think about that. I didn't think
Yeah,
it through.
was. He thought to himself, what I need is a toy that looks like a turd
Mm,
with a pair of eyes strapped onto it.
yeah. Okay.
Now,
Now I get it.
this scene, next scene is where things really, it's molasses slow. Is when Pino breaks into the home.
Yeah.
That stuff is so fucking boring. Like, it is just, he wanders around the house aimlessly.
It's pretty sluggish.
And then we're intercutting with some other things going on outside the house. And
Mm.
it's just, you needed to give that a little bit more pace and a bit of tension about it.
I mean, me and you were entertaining ourselves by once he appeared to be rifling through underwear that we kind of took ourselves back to Valentine and imagined people busting in and him going, I'm not well.
Hang on a second. I'm not well. But that's what I said. I mean, I wanted to see it as sort of like a touch of class, Jared, as we cut away from that, we come back and we pan across and here he is with a fucking thong jammed over his head.
I thought that was what we were going to get to. We were taking so much time in there. I was
And then
wondering.
you hear, Derek, and he's like, oh, shit. He fucking dives out the window. Oh, yeah, I'm taking these.
Yeah.
But that sequence slows everything down.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a while, and it doesn't. You know what?
It doesn't really build, like, it's trying to build some tension with them kind of doing what they're doing and then making their way back to the house, and you're thinking, oh, they're going to find him in there. And it does okay there, but it seems to take a long time before that.
But yeah, notes for Martin Petroza. I would have gone with them sort of feeling uneasy in the house and finding doors open and shit like that, and seeing shadows in the hallway and stuff. To build a little bit more of that suspense that somebody is watching them.
Yeah.
And then
How did my thong get out in the hallway? Oh, there's another pair.
Who ate the middle of this? Yeah, I mean, like, there's all these panties around the place. She's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah.
Derek, have you been playing in my underwear again? No, but you know what I mean, like to showcase that there's something there,
Yeah.
but it's not so simply put in your face because they basically just have Pino turn up, lift a brick, take a fucking key, and go into his house.
Yeah.
So there's no mystery to any of it.
No.
Whereas I felt that mystery could have been held back until Mickey Rooney mentions it later, perhaps.
Yeah. Possibly. Well, again, did they need to put the his name and the year on the brick?
No.
Because that's once we saw that, it was like, oh, okay. So we know where that's going.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have held that back a little bit. Obviously, I was really enjoying the kid on the rollerblades. But when he actually gets hit by the car,
Nah.
it didn't
not good
sell
enough,
it.
Not good enough.
You need to sell this shit like Ric Flair. Make sure I've...
Woo! You need to fucking sell that thing like Travolta's bloody dummy getting blasted.
Exactly.
Arrow.
Number one, I thought it was going to be... I was expecting it to be gruesome. That's what you were kind of
You
thinking
need
that
him
it
to
was going
flip
to
over
be.
the car, a dummy
Yeah.
to flip over the car, blood goes everywhere.
I mean, the way that he got hit, it's kind of one of those ones where you think, you know, if we don't cut away, he kind of gets up, dusts himself off, the driver jumps out and goes, oh, shit, here's $200, just don't tell anyone.
And then he rolls off taking up the street. Like he kind of rolls, he gets hit and then he sort of rolls onto the bonnet and he just rolls back.
Yeah.
Like, come on, mate, you need to spread
Yeah, I would have
that.
preferred as you said, like if he the things were sending him so fast that we did get a dummy that went flying into the wall and something like that happened. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
or if you got hit by the car, that it was going to be, you're done. He survived, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was in the hospital with a heavily bandaged
Face.
scone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my feeling is he just gets cleaned up on the road. Either
Yeah.
that or he flies down the street and then just...
And if you don't want it to be a kid, make it like the guy that was picking on him, but instead of having him be the one to go over to the house to meet the girl, just make it someone else who picks on him and pinches his rollerblades and then
boom.
says, give me, and goes flying.
Or bursts into flames.
Yeah,
You know?
all of this is on the table. So
Spontaneous
this is again
combustion.
where I feel like maybe it was budget.
Yeah, could have been.
Because even the rollerblades, it looks like they jammed a couple of sparklers in the back.
Hang on a
of
sec.
them.
Are you saying that you couldn't hire a stuntman to get hit by a car?
Well, it just seemed that way. Well,
I don't think you
not
hire
necessarily
children to
that,
get hit by
but
cars.
but spending money on blowing up a dummy on the rollerblades or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it could have been time as well.
Because it
Yeah,
feels like that would have fit in
Perfectly.
perfectly for mine.
I'm going to say this, Jared, and I have said this a few times over the years, but I've never seen so unappealing sex scene. I mean, there's two of them going on at once. They're both fucking awful. Like, they're just awful. Like, we've got the bloke getting his ass fondled by a toy arm, which I don't really understand
It was
why
kind of
it's a
funny.
toy.
It was kind of funny. What?
What's it a toy of?
Well, it's like one of those prank. You stuff it up your sleeve and
What
shake
the-
hands with someone, and then go, "Oh shit, my arm fell off." Like
One of those, is it?
one of those classics.
And then you've got the other one with the main lady and her ex-partner or whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of happens so quickly. Like,
Well, it's hard to shoot in the back of a station wagon.
I know.
Sorry, and
but,
a Connor van, maybe you could find a bit more
yeah,
space.
roll,
in
no,
there.
you roll some seats down. You know. But what I mean is, she sees him in the parking lot and then it's just on.
Yeah.
Like, which is really weird.
Go to a sleazy motel like your
man.
friend from part 4 that kept showing up.
Do a few of these.
yeah.
Limber up a touch.
Yeah.
And prepare.
Get a good stance, engage the
Yeah,
core,
engage the
and then
core.
get into it.
And when I say engage your core, engage your fucking core. Because that guy that guy was in core engagement time.
core, lumbar, everything was in.
Probably thighs. Get your
I'm pretty
thighs
sure.
ready.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the
Do
quads were
some wall
firing.
sits. Do some wall sits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, essentially, if you ran the scene in Die Hard where old mate's doing Tai Chi in the Nick
Yeah.
before, I'd have believed it because
Yeah.
that's what he needs to.
Yeah.
He needs to stretch
We
up
cut
and
to him
get
go,
prepared.
and doing all this sort of shit in the news.
And then we come back to, all right, I'm ready. Jump
He's
on.
got some girl trapped to him like this. All right, okay. Yeah, no, both of those scenes just very uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
None of it was like... I felt like there was no need to have the sex scene in the car, back of the car.
No, not really.
Like that had no bearing on anything.
Yeah.
Like, because it didn't...
Could have just shown the aftermath.
Well, you didn't need it at all. What all you needed was her and him reconnecting, that she realises, oh, shit, that's Derek's father.
Oh, but when she realises, oh, you're the guy that's following us around and you're the one that was dressed as Santa and wouldn't let my child go, she just can't resist.
Swooned. You gave Derek, you knocked on the door and told Derek you had a special toy for him. But he's still my
How
beating
can I
heart, for
resist?
Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But I just felt like you didn't need that. Because that was a connection between those two that we needed to build to end the film.
Yeah.
Whether they had sex or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
The last thing I had, there's just this weird moment in the ending where Pino kind of goes a bit nuts and starts. I like the idea of him saying, "I'm your son. I'm
Yeah.
your son now."
I'll replace Derek and
But then there's a sequence where he starts trying to have sex with her against the wall. He's got no dick or anything because he's a doll,
yeah.
and he's humping her and stuff. I just thought, again, unnecessary.
Yeah, that angle we probably could have.
Well, it's not an
Could've
angle
worked
that was
around.
really needed either, because the creepiness was with him going, "I'm your son now."
Yeah.
You know, so here's this monstrous thing.
Especially he's just. Yeah, I mean,
It was just strange to me.
it was. Yeah, I
Take it or
thought
leave it in mind.
Well, I thought it probably didn't really need it in this type of thing. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I know there's probably, people would bring up the bloody Greek mythology and Oedipus and all that sort of stuff and say, well, it fits in with, he's just killed
The great
a father and all this sort of shit. But sometimes I just feel like, well, yeah, but does that belong right here
No, it
in
doesn't.
this series?
No, it does.
I feel like it would have been creepier if he was just kind of saying, I'm your son now.
And I actually think it would
trying
be
to
creepy
kill
because
the
he'd been
kid.
stabbed in the top of the head
Yeah, yeah.
and his shit was, his circuits were going all haywire. I reckon actually would have been really creepy if he just kept repeating that.
Yeah.
I'm your son. I'm
Yeah,
your
yeah,
son.
yeah.
I'm your son.
And
I
doing
think
that-
would have been interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was the focus that I felt was the kind of scary part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because he's this kind of weird creature that just keeps crapping on about replacing your actual flesh and blood son with him. That's interesting.
Mm.
And buys back into the whole twisted Pinocchio angle. So
Yeah.
I actually felt that would have been the better way to play it.
Agreed.
I had nothing else. What did you have?
No, that was it for me.
Nothing else?
Just classy from start to finish.
Classic from go to woe. All right, that is Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. That's the entire franchise knocked out.
Yeah, done. We're not going to go and do, Silent Night is just a loose connection. I don't feel the need to go back to that one.
We did that one though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. No, I don't want to go back to it.
All right, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Please rate and review us on all the platforms you find us on. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for details of our next film. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.